When dumbness gets exposed, the universal reaction is so sweet. What's up, peoples? It's your boy MM2K back again. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. So, for those of you, I'm gonna let y'all fill in. I didn't save everything. I had some technical difficulties in trying to set the stream up, but I hope everything looks good, right? Okay, here goes my stream right here. It's gonna let me get to it. No, it's not. It's playing games. Playing with my emotions, cause I'm live, baby. Yeah, I don't get this. That's one thing I don't like about the new YouTube setup. I'm trying to find my official video so I can start tweeting this out, and it's not letting me do that. Let me change some things here because I got some bad tags in here. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Before we get started, this is not going to be too long because we just gotta have a coming to Jesus moment, that's all. But I just want to update some tags here so everybody know what I'm talking about. Death Stranding. Let me see, Kojima. Okay, what the hell's going on here? Not Kojima Productions. PC Master Race. Who else? And 505 games. Okay, I think those are good. We'll save that. And then, there goes the YouTube video. Duh. All right, let's go there. Make sure I got it muted. Joe Hansel, what's up? What's popping? We're letting everybody fill up because oh my, taking live calls during the show at, okay, where's that live call number? Taking these live calls at 724-739-3612. Okay. Dial that number. Let me put this in here. Live calls being taken shortly. I just want to let y'all know that right now I got to ramble for a little bit. So until I officially say that we're taking the live calls, I'm just going to let it go to voicemail. Hey, yo, King's Blood. Hey, man, if you don't shut your Oscar the Grouch ass up, I'm over here drinking. I don't care. Man, shut up. Let me speak my gospel this Monday morning. No, big up to my homie King's Blood. Hey, King, you showing up for the best damn podcast today or what, bro? What's going on, man? We need you today, man. We need some of that King's Blood game of the day, man. You coming? You should join, man. It's gonna be a hell of a show today. Oh, so that's why I want to take too much time today, man. I don't want to take too much time today because we gonna touch all the bases later on tonight, and hopefully my bro King's Blood could come through to make it even more hilarious, man. Because this is gonna be crazy. Best damn podcast period on Z's channel. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you know what I'm saying? Next at 7:20. All right, man. So let's get into it. All right, let's get into it. Then we got people here. I think we know what happened today. Y'all got the number. It's 724. Hold on, what happened? 724-739-3612. Okay. All right. So here's the deal. Bossy one, what's going on? What's going on? Here's what's happening. Perfect. Hey, this music is so adequate for what's going on. Perfect. I just want to show y'all this tweet. Y'all see that tweet? Sent out by Kojima Productions today. Thanks to all of those who have been supporting hashtag Death Stranding. Death Stranding release on PlayStation 4 is November 8th, 2019. Furthermore, Kojima Productions is happy to announce that Death Stranding will be coming to PC. I wish I had one of those T-Pain machines, you know what I'm saying? PC in early summer of 2020, right? And you've had massive fallouts because of this, right? Now, we're going to go back here to why all this was foolish in the first place, but I want to say this first and foremost. Heath, what's up, big up? What's up, big up to Heath Stevens? No, y'all did not all know that it was coming to PC. You knew it was coming to PC, but tell that to JTech TV. And JTech TV is supposed to be the biggest PlayStation aficionado in these gaming streets, correct? And I got a plethora of other people that I'm about to show you, Heath. Hey, Heath, that's why we need you on your job, man. You got to educate your PlayStation brethren, because they out here having conniptions. You know what I'm saying? Really just ready to sell their kidneys to try to create a GoFundMe to get this thing back exclusively on PlayStation. So Heath, don't assume that everybody was wise on what was going on like how you are, brother. You know what I'm saying? Don't assume that. Now, you may say that about JTech, but with that being said, bro, there's a lot of PlayStation brethren that be up there in the chat, that be in my chat. You know what I'm saying? A lot of cool folks that just were buying into the hogwash. So what I'm saying is, we need people like you, Heath, that got the gaming know-how to educate these folks. That's why I'm here. You know what I mean? But let me say this first and foremost, man. I'm gonna say this first and foremost. What we do here is whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? But at the crux of what we do here with the podcast and the talking about the gaming community in the way that we do, it's nerd culture, okay? It's nerd culture. I mean, I get it. We call it the crumb side, where we try to dress it up with a couple of broken crack vials and broken glass, or a couple of quarters and a few used condoms here and there. You know what I'm saying? We try to street fire it up a little bit, but it's nerd culture. And nerd culture fringes upon facts, okay? Now, as long as I've been into gaming, anime, comic books for a portion of my nerd culture time here, you know what I'm saying? One thing that I always noticed is that when nerds debate, what they do is they take the facts, the cold hard facts as they are, and they'll debate back and forth the possibilities of things that could happen. Like, for instance, in the comic book world, you know what I'm saying? For those of you that are familiar with The Watchmen and Dr. Manhattan, you know what I'm saying? A big debate. And again, I could be wrong because I haven't really been in the comic book side of things for a long time. So this could have already happened. So let me know, but just follow me here. Dr. Manhattan, who has the ability to change all mass and atoms and stuff like that, going against Superman, right? You might have two nerds, comic book nerds, that might battle that. And the common consensus might be, Dr. Manhattan would destroy Superman. You know what I'm saying? Because of X, Y, Z, and he's so powerful and blah, blah, blah. And, you might have a nerd that might try to use some facts that say, no, I think Superman could actually edge out a victory because of blah, 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 blah. But because that fight ain't happened yet, they're just simply using facts to analyze the possibility. But let's say a comic book actually comes out that has Dr. Manhattan fighting Superman, And there might have been one. I'm not privy to that. I'm sorry. You know, I'm just saying. But there was, back in the day, there would have been no debate. Let's just say if Dr. Manhattan wiped the floor with Superman, there is no debate. Dr. Manhattan whooped Superman's ass. Your analysis was wrong. I was right. Blah, 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 blah. And they go about their business. You know what I'm saying? But in today's world, with the advent of social media, right? This is me being an old man shaking my fist at the window. It's over encumbered the fact that we need facts within nerd culture. And what happens now is in that same argument, somebody would argue, let's just say if Dr. Manhattan wipes the floor with Superman in a forthcoming comic book. You have somebody within today's current climate that tries to caveat the facts and say, well, in 12 issues ago in Superman issue 917, Superman had ate some chimichangas and he got gas. So that's why he lost to Dr. Manhattan. You know what I'm saying? Well, where does it say that happened? Well, you can't assume that it didn't happen. Where did they say it did happen? You see what I'm saying? There's so much caveat in the facts. There's so much distortion of reality that now you're taking nerd culture and it's no longer nerd culture. It becomes watered down, conveyor belt, mainstream culture. That's why you hear me use the words conveyor belt, mainstream, hive mind. That's why I'm using that a lot. Because when you go pop culture, mainstream culture, that's what happens. It's not about facts. It's about popular perception. What makes nerd culture unique and what made it fantastic and above a lot of other forms of entertainment is it being rooted in facts. Okay? It being rooted in facts. Graphic God said nerds will be nerds. Nerds are incumbent of they have a yearn for facts. But now you bring in the current social media climate where it's not about facts. It's about popular perception. And when popular perception takes over and washes away facts, it no longer becomes nerd culture, and it just becomes a bunch of bibble babble and a bunch of idiotic dumb shit conversations as the ones that people had about Death Stranding. Even though the facts were clear, the reality was right there in our face. People wanted to deny reality and say some of the dumbest shit known to man. Okay? So I want to go over this in totality, how we got here, and give you what I think about all this, and then allow people to call in and give their thoughts on all this. So I'm going to make this quick. Let's start in a funny round. And I want to say this before I do all that. Because I am more in tune with the nerd culture of things. I come from the nerd culture timeline, the 80s. I'm a product of the 80s. I don't get into this court of public opinion type thing that's embedded in, that social media is embedded in. That's why you see me, and I'm gonna bring this full circle, and I'm gonna talk about this movie because I get it, y'all don't like these games, and y'all ain't gotta like these games. And I relish in the fact that y'all don't like these games because it creates diversity of thought. But that's why you see me out there vigorously fighting on things being said about Ghost Recon Breakpoint or Fallout 76. Not because I want y'all to like them, but because we're in the age of social media, people do not rely on facts. And the reason, and the simple fact that I play these games and I know them in and out, and I hear a bunch of false things being said, I fight against that. I'm not fighting for you to like the game. I'm fighting against false narratives. Why would I care to fight against false narratives for two games that average a 50 Metacritic? Because it's not because of the games themselves individually, it's because the fact of the matter is that now within nerd culture, it is fine, it's okay, and it's relish for you to give misinformation. So if they can give you if the people that are giving misinformation, if they're being accredited, if they're being rewarded, they're not going to stop. And little by little, the misinformation is going to seep within this gaming community, which I love and enjoyed for the past 30 plus years. And it's going to totally destroy it. It starts with the stuff that y'all don't know about. The Fallout 76s and the what's it called. Then it starts to seep even further into the stuff that you may know a little bit about, but because you're so trusting of these figures, that they start pulling the wool over your eyes. It's a pattern. It always happens this way when it comes to people trying to deceive the masses. That's why nerd culture has always been nerd culture, because those are symptomatic of mainstream culture, of pop culture, just following a herd, trying to fit in, and following the most popular person on the scene. Nerd culture is not about that. I could give a shit less if y'all like Fallout 76. I'm enjoying it on PC. It's going to be supported on PC. It's not going nowhere. Ghost Recon Breakpoint? I don't know. Ubisoft is sounding, a little iffy about that. But I don't think they're going to drop that, because for the simple fact that people paid their hard-earned money, and it does have a decent following. But again, it's not the individual games themselves. It's the facts that are not being relished behind them. And now you got social media digging its claws into nerd culture, which is gaming. And y'all try to make it cool as shit and just crump side label and all this other shit. But y'all fucking up the culture if you don't keep it rooted within what? Facts. It's one thing for us to argue and debate possibilities before something is released, but once something has been released or information has been put out there, stop trying to dip it through this ulterior universe and make it be something that it never was. Death Stranding was always coming to PC. I don't give two shits about any post that Crap Gamer put out there. It's bullshit. For that one stupid ass Polygon post, there were a plethora of other posts and other things out there that showed you that the game was coming to PC. It was even to the point that PlayStation erased their PlayStation blog post because Kojima alluded to that in that article, and they didn't want that information out there. So for every one article that may have misquoted or misstated something, there were a dozen other ones that showed you to the contrary. I'm looking through my videos right now because I did something on Death Stranding. And I'm trying to find that video, that infamous video, because I want to post a link to that video in here. I'll find it, and I'm not going to go over the complete history of Death Stranding because I already did a full-fledged video about this. I talked about the Decima engine, right? I told y'all wanted to have that debate. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all were following the idiot herd. I let y'all know that the branded version of the Decima engine did not come to fruition until 2016, I believe it was. Not the coding makeup that it was beforehand, because before it was branded the Decima engine, it was just considered the Killzone Shadowfall engine. I showed you guys all the articles, and I told you the reason why my words were specific about the branding. Yes, all the coding that was at the base of what was branded the Decima engine in 2016 was all there prior to its branding, but it wasn't branded the Decima engine until 2016. So you guys went back in time and construed some tweets and this, but they said they gave, what's the name, the Decima engine. That's now because the engine is now branded. So any previous references to the original coding is now going to be referred to as the Decima engine. Also, about owning the IP. I told you guys, just because Sony had the trademark doesn't mean that they own the IP. I didn't only tell you that, DualShockers told you that. Y'all argued that down. Now look at yourselves. These motherfuckers signed with 505 Games and they're going to distribute the game on on PC. That don't sound like Sony owns the IP to me. Right? Right. And then, finally, the fact that y'all said, not all of y'all, but a good portion of y'all fighting this console battle, being embedded in just public perception instead of trying to find truth within a nerd culture. Y'all said it ain't never coming to PC. Never. Sony would never do that. Never. So with that being said, again, the purpose of my channel, well, let me just be honest with you. Let me be honest with you. Let me keep it real with you. How many? I got 573 followers right now. I get up here and I do my spiel. I get people hitting me in the DMs all the time. Pause. Yo, MM2K, I love your material. You gotta pick a flag though, man. Your shit's dope. Da 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 da. And I don't let that shit get to my head. I'm only mentioning that to say this. If I really wanted to, I could follow the idiot herd too. And just use my ability to babble and argue for shit that I know ain't true to get more followers and get more clicks. But it's not in my DNA to do that. I want to make it abundantly clear. Oh, hold on 1 second. Hold on. Okay, so sorry about that. Wife disrupting the groove. With that being said, okay, now I could sit here and I could bloviate, talk some shit. I could pick an Xbox flag because that's a popular flag right now. It's been abandoned, so there's a lot of room for seepage, people to jump in there, burst that bubble. I could do that. Or I could do what a lot of people try to do, hop on the PlayStation bandwagon, and I could do it better than them. I could. Talk all this shit about Xbox solely, praise PlayStation, praise Uncharted, this is the best, that, and I'd have way more subscribers than I have now. But it ain't about that to me. Number one, I ain't dying and thirsting. I ain't e-begging. I do take donations, but I ain't e-begging. You know what I mean? Number two, integrity is paramount to me. I mean, I get it. I don't personally know any of y'all. Y'all don't personally know any of me. But I just feel a certain way about believing the stuff that I say. If I don't believe it, I'm not going to say it. It's as simple as that. We've seen the ramifications of people flip-flopping, floppity-flipping, flip-flop that this way. Now nobody wants to deal with them. And their shit is getting more and more ridiculous by the day. I'm not going to fall into that realm. One thing that you're always going to get is you're always going to get someone that does his research, that doesn't just get on the mic and say anything, and someone that believes what he says, whether you agree with me or not. At least you know you'll get that. At least I operate with some integrity here. I've been up since 7 a.m. I didn't start till 11 a.m. Why? I go get my coffee, come back to the crib, and then I do some research on the thing that I'm about to do my video on. Get a couple things together. I know it takes some time. I know I could have been first out of the gate, but that's not operating with integrity. So at the end of the day, anybody's welcome to listen to my material. I love the interaction with anybody. Y'all can come in the chat. Y'all can call on the phone. I don't care. But understand what we do on this channel. We operate in finding facts. Now, we may be going down one path and we may find out that that wasn't the best path to get the facts, so we'll adjust course there. But that's the only way we'll adjust course. I don't adjust for clicks. I don't adjust because I gotta fit in with popular perception. I don't give two fucks about popular perception. Never did, never will. So understand that I'm patient. I'm a patient man. I wholeheartedly believe in delayed gratification. I am willing to say the things that I know is true, or that I believe in my heart is true, and just sit back and wait while y'all sit there and talk all y'all silly shit. While y'all sit back and talk all y'all silly shit for months and months and months, years and decades, until it comes to fruition. And then I say, look at you now. You may have won the battle, but you've lost the war. So at the end of the day, before I get into these calls and stuff like that, you gotta ask yourself, why are you here? And when I say here, I don't mean just my channel. I mean, why are you on Twitter talking about games? Are you on Twitter talking about games because you love the culture? Are you on Twitter talking about games because you want a fanboy? Are you on Twitter talking about games because you ain't got nothing else better to do with your life? What is it? But understand that whatever it is that you do, at the end of the day, this is a nerd culture. And as unpopular as it is just to call it that, nerd culture is rooted in fact finding. You're not always successful. Nobody's perfect. Somebody may wholeheartedly believe that they have facts in their hand. But you never caveat facts and knowingly do so just to fit public perception or to try to squeeze it into a narrative. That's not what nerd culture is about. So that's what this community got to ask itself. What are y'all in this for? Are y'all in this to debate facts or just to shit talk? You can't have both. Right? You can't have both. Now, I'm going to share some examples with you, and I'm going to let the greatest show on earth, the best damn podcast later today, do the rest. But I just want to show you some more, all right? And then we're going to get to these phone calls. Well, first, let me get to my chat. Chat said exclusives means only on your console. If your game is on console and PC, that's a multiplat. You know, 2 platforms. All right. Heath and Graphic are going back and forth about exclusivity, which are those are fruitful discussions. Joe Ansel says, remember too, Final Fantasy VII was shown or mentioned like a Sony exclusive, and ponies are in denial too. They better embrace themselves. Devin got the box. You talk out your neck, Heath. I don't get it. FC Violet. Jay's gone. Where Jay at? Oh, Jay surfaced. Bro, now he's PC J-Dubs, FC. Big up to the homie FC Violet. He said Ubisoft is killing the name of Tom Clancy. I got an interesting thought on that. If you don't like The Division, which a lot of people liked it, they just didn't buy it. And then Ghost Recon Breakpoint, even though I like it and a lot of people like it, and you see it on Twitter, a lot of people are fighting back against the narrative. It didn't do as well as Ubisoft expected it to because they didn't even define the game themselves. A lot of people didn't play this game because they didn't know what it was. They just were apprehensive about it. I was originally going to be one of them. I wasn't going to buy this game if it hadn't been for the free demos that I got on Uplay Plus. And then I end up loving the game. Look at my tweets earlier. I said Ghost Recon Breakpoint. What is your identity? I don't even know what you're here for. And I end up loving the game because I tried it. So I think what Ubisoft has to do is they have to come to a reckoning. They got to understand that I get they want to do games as a service. And here's what happened. 2018 was the year of the story-based game. And that is the mainstream favorite. So 2018 was a mainstream favorite year. 2019 was a gameplay enthusiast year. You had games like Metro, Rage 2, The Division 2. You know what I'm saying? I won't even put Breakpoint in there. But those that focus more on gameplay than they do stories. And guess what? 2019 fell flat on its face. And to me, this is my personal opinion, 2019, for me as a gamer, was better than 2018. Yeah, I like God of War, but nothing else really. And Assassin's Creed Odyssey, yeah. But the games that I really love that are really embedded in gameplay came out this year. That really challenge your gamer IQ came out this year. I don't care about story. I don't need a story. I don't need a game that at the end of the day makes me want to kiss my kids on the forehead and tuck them in at night. I don't care about that type of shit. I want to kill. I want to kick ass. I want to see ass get kicked, period. And I want a challenging time doing so. So 2019 was more my year. But again, the mainstream is more, the flavor of the month for the mainstream right now is story-driven games or Capcom. Story-driven games, Capcom or indie. That's the flavor of the month for the mainstream. So when you operate out of that realm, you better understand that it's niche. And if it's niche now, with the advent of the outrage culture, it's going to get hammered. Ubisoft thought too much of themselves and thought that they could put out 2 games that were out of the flavor of the month for the mainstream and get away with it and premiere with those 2 games, and it didn't work. If it was that serious, you should have put the Division 2 in last year and came out with Assassin's Creed Odyssey this year and capped it off with Ghost Recon Breakpoint. You see what I'm saying? Or something. But you gotta have story-driven games this year, or it gotta be a Capcom style Japanese game or Japanese title, AAA title, a Japanese action title. Those are the flavors of the month right now. So Ubisoft gotta understand that. And even though these are good games, The Division 2, Rage 2, Metro Exodus, even though these are good games, you gotta go to the niche market first, let them do well there, build up revenue, then bring them to the mainstream. You know what I'm saying? That's where they fell short. They still made 1.4 billion. They just had to lower their adjustments almost $1 billion. So the game fell short, but it didn't do Crackdown 3 horrible. That's what people are trying to make it seem to be. And that's not true. The game premiered at number 6 for only 1 day. That wasn't the day of its release, for one. That was just the editions, just the ultimate editions alone. And you got to take into consideration Uplay's biggest market, which is PC, offers Uplay Plus. And on Uplay Plus, that very same day, the game was what? Free. On September 30th, the only day that game was available in September, you could have got it free on Uplay Plus. And it's still charted number 6. It did awful in comparison to its projections, but Ubisoft had no business projecting it that high, especially after Division 2 fell short. They should have knew better. They should have been readjusted their projections. Because including myself, someone who actually loves the game now, I didn't know what this was. And I couldn't understand why it was coming out the same year as the Division 2. I thought that they stifled each other. But that said, hopefully lesson learned. So that's my feels on the whole Ubisoft thing. Okay, let's look at some of this idiot herd stuff out here on the internet, and then I'm gonna take these live calls. Okay, so we got the fact that that Kojima Productions had announced that this was coming. This was now a multiplat. Now we got this, and this is my thoughts on the whole matter. I said the possible biggest L here is the constant cries that definitively Sony owned the IP because they own the trademark rights. I told you. Even DualShockers told you. That's not always the case. It looks, with 505 publishing the game on PC, that Sony doesn't own the IP. That the reason why Sony owned the trademarking is because it was going to be a big deal. And Sony does that all the time. They did that with Detroit Become Human, I believe. They own the trademarking because when you do trademarking, you got to file in different countries and do all this other shit like every 3 months. And that's a massive undertaking. So when Sony partners with second party development as a favor to that second party development, first and foremost, regardless of what I think about Sony, they support their collaborations expeditiously. They are wonderful, and that's why they get so much acclaim. They fully support their second party relationships, and that's why people love working with Sony and making second party games, and that's why they get a lot of second party exclusives. It's because they do things like this. Owning the trademark and filing for the trademark is such a massive undertaking, especially for a team that's just known for development, that Sony says, we'll take it on. Now, of course, they'll probably do it at a fee, but we'll take it on. But that has nothing to do with the intellectual property. Sometimes Sony will do the trademarking and they own the intellectual property. Sometimes they won't. This appears, again, we don't have 100% certainty, but it appears for all intents and purposes, they don't own the IP, because if they own the IP, why the hell would they let 505 Games publish it? Right? Why in the hell would 505 Games be publishing this game if Sony owned the IP? That's that idiot herd shit that I'm talking about. What are you here for? Ask yourself that question. Because you may actually think that you're here for facts, but you're participating in making arguments for public perception purposes. Say that fast 5 times. For PPP. Pause. You know what I'm saying? And you're not embedded in facts. But let's go to some of this idiot herd stuff. So I'm not going to spoil everything for you, but I just want to let you know that my brother Neethles has been on his job. He's making you mammy jammies pay for all the dumb shit you said. And this goes to my point to my brother Heath Stevens, what he said earlier. He said, hey, look, we all knew that it was going to be a multiplat. And Heath, I've been combing through so many receipts this morning. That also was what took me. It literally took me 45 minutes to go through all the receipts that I had. Not including the receipts that I've collected today from people that be in my chat, the people that I've seen you conversate with, Heath. I even checked that to make sure my boy Heath was up and up, and my boy Heath is legit. But because you knew it, Heath, some of our cohorts don't know it. So we got to inform them. But my bro Neethles was on his job. He started off light. He just gave y'all a little appetizer, gave y'all a couple mozzarella sticks. He said, hey guys, y'all still hyped? It's no longer an exclusive. A little smiley face. Then he retweeted my tweet about the biggest possible L. And then you got my homie King's Blood. He responded to her, Magiazzo tripping. He said, laugh my ass off, and he getting his Kojima tramp stamp removed. You know what I'm saying? Let me see here. Sean having fun with this. Oh, here goes one. Neethel said, guess you won't be a pro for Death Stranding, little smiley face. And this is the homie Craig, the tech guy. You know what I'm saying? Craig, for all intents and purposes, Craig is the homie. You know what I'm saying? Love him, but again, he's not always on his fact-finding fest, right? He did a stream with me and Post Up and Z and said, and was talking about how Kojima had made Metal Gear survive. So there's some circles in the gaming community where fact-finding is not their biggest thing. He says, I don't care if it's greater than Gears. Gears is in its 6th iteration, and the fact you're comparing the two is crazy. Shows how desperate you are for content. I will play both Gears PC and Death Stranding PlayStation 4 Pro. Don't need an Xbox. But that's just a little appetizer. Now we get into the meat and potatoes. Now we've hit Outback Steakhouse, and we're gonna get fed. My homeboy David Jenner. Now I love David. I've taken a new stance where I don't debate people on Twitter about games they haven't played, because again, I'm here for facts. I'm not here for people that want to follow another man's emotions and just pile on there and the whole court of public perception. I'm into the nerd culture part of it. I use social media as a tool. I'm not in it for the social media aspect. I'm in it for the nerd culture part of it. With that being said, me and my homie David Jetta had some discussions about Fallout 76, where he was riding another man's emotions off of it, opposed to basing it off of fact. He tried to make it seem like that everybody's experience with the game was a certain way when it wasn't the case. That's not rooted in fact. We're not gonna, and plus he don't even play the game, so I'm not having a discussion with you. With that being said, he said, for all you PC players thinking Death Stranding is coming to PC, it ain't. By the very mouth of the creator, you want to play it, you'll need a PlayStation 4. And Neithel says, not like this, my friend. It's a little smiley face. Pick up the 9-star games. He says, best damn podcast period is going to be glorious. Van glorious. And then we got my homie Crap Gamer here, talking about trying to cap. He claims he's trolling when he do this, but it's a bullshit response. I let him know it was duly noted. Talking about how Polygon had this article. So that one article, opposed to the plethora of information that we got in regards to Death Stranding coming to PC, to even to the point to my homie Heath Stevens said it was well known that it was coming to PC. All right, ain't nobody want that dumb shit. She shot us out Porter Rock, which I did too. That's the first person I went to. Porter Rock, and yo, Porter Rock had his fort reinforced. He said, shout out to Porter Rock for being sensible, knowing this would be the case. And again, Porter Rock showed you his receipts. But here goes some more meat and potatoes. My homie Dweb. He says, anybody knows where I can pre-order Death Stranding on PC, can't find it on Steam. And Neithel says, not like this. And he says about that energy. He said, I would love for Death Stranding to come to PC just to witness that inevitable change of energy. Oh my. Let me see here. Some more Death Stranding stuff. But the homie, and then here goes Porter Rock with his receipt. So the homie Neithel's just exposing people. This is gonna go on for a while, PlayStation Nation. He said that I'm into the nerd porn. Random guy. Oh man. So with that being said, it's time to take these calls. We got the phone number here, y'all. And just in case if you guys missed it, the homie, that's the phone number. I'm putting it in the chat. It's 724-739-3612. Okay. 724-739-3612. Come on down. Give me a call if you want to. You can talk about this. Let me know your thoughts. All that cool, all that good stuff. Let me make sure the number's working. Call it real quick. Let me call it real quick. Let me see. 724. The number should be working. Oh, there we go. We got a call, baby. We got a call. Answer it. Yo, you on the Quick Dose Live with your boy MM2K. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking to? I knew it was you, Doctor. Oh, hold on. I had you muted. Say that again. Okay, go ahead. Say that again.
I said, I was in the mean streets of Detroit. You see that 313 area code? Hey man, what's up, bro?
What's up? Hey yo, remember that movie Dr. Detroit? This is Dr. Detroit.
Hell
man.
yeah, Dr. Exactly. Hey man,
What's up,
great
Riggedy?
show, man. I like you. What's up, man? Hey man, good show, man. I like when you do these little podcasts like this. You give me something to listen to in my work van. Hey man, listen, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really give a shit about this, but the receipts is going to be legendary. You have already alluded to a bunch of receipts you've been reading some. This shit is crazy, man. That's why in this community, you can never say Sony won't do this or Xbox won't do this. Y'all need to stop tweeting that shit because that is nothing but receipts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can never put nothing past any company. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Flat out, bro.
Yeah. No, I wholeheartedly agree. And that's the point of all this dirt. Like you said, who gives a shit? Like you said, your favorite saying, who gives a shit? That this is coming to PC,
Right.
Who cares?
Right, who cares, man?
But it's the fact
But
that
I think it's sad to... Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, bro. No, I think it's sad to see some PlayStation guys talking about their canceling pre-order. That's some childish shit. Grow up. Grow up, man. What the hell is wrong with people, man? You're too old for this shit. I'm canceling my pre-order. Grow up. All right, Moss, I'm out, man. Good show, bro. Keep it up.
Hey, bro. Yo. That made my day, man. Because I've seen those tweets. I'm canceling my pre-order. And I'm buying a computer for exactly $424.35. Ah! Ah! Can't beat it with a stick, man. With that said, let me go to my chat until I get another call. Again, the phone number is, let me know what your thoughts are, man. The phone number is 724-739-3612. Just give me a quick buzz. Let's just chat about this. Let me know what your thoughts are about this or anything that I had to say in regards. The homie Heath Stevens says that is completely childish. He says dirt with the truth. Rulio 44, big up to Rulio. Let me see. We got Johanzo Villegas. He says crap is a piece of shit, and if Xbox makes a comeback, he better not come back. Fuck that dude. Hey, look, I want to say this, and for full disclosure, while we wait for possibly the next call, I want to be on, again, I operate off of integrity. I personally don't have any problems with Crap Gamer, okay? I don't have any problems with Crap Gamer or Mooch, or, you know what I'm saying? What I don't, because I don't personally know the guy. And again, I don't take all this shit talking back and forth that seriously to personally hate somebody over their opinions or things that they say that aren't directly about me. What I am not favorable of is what happened with my good friend J-Dubs. I don't like that. So, for full transparency there, me saying anything ain't got nothing personally. I mean, they got nothing to do with Crap's opinion or whatever. I don't hate the guy because of his game. I don't hate anybody. You know, I'm not a big fan of what he did to my good friend J-Dubs. Hence why you don't see us on any, you know, you've never seen me podcast with him. You know what I'm saying? So it's not because of his opinion. I love diversity of thought. And I'll be honest with you, before his most recent turn of events where he's doing 1,000% capping for PlayStation in dire hopes of trying to get some PlayStation attention, I listen to him on a regular basis because, again, and the little tidbits of videos that he did, there was some information, there was some facts in there. You know, if you parse away all the opinionated stuff and all the clickbait stuff or whatever, there were some facts in it. I was like, oh, I didn't know about that. That being said, what you're seeing right now, if I did communicate with him, I would say you need to stop. You need to stop, not because I don't agree with you. There's a lot of people that I don't agree with that are 20 times more successful than I am. And if you're looking to be successful, you cannot, at the drop of a dime, be so erratic in your opinions It's like the old adage, if you stand for nothing, you fall for everything. And that's kind of the feel that you get with him. So it ain't got nothing to do with it has nothing to do with his personal opinions, but on Monday, his personal opinion can be that. Then Tuesday, his personal opinion can be this. Then Wednesday is this. And the excuse is, well, people change their mind, they change their mind, they change their mind. No, it's not you changing you. You can't change your mind that drastically so rapidly. What begins to beckon the minds of the listener is, what do you stand for? Do you have any integrity, and what do you stand for? And that's the big question. So, I don't know him personally. Dirt does shows, there. I don't know, I don't go in the conversation. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not that type of person. I'm like, well, what's this person doing? What's happening? I really don't care. With that being said, I'm only mentioning them as a spotlight for other people that want to get into this. It's in my personal opinion to take the slower but tried and true route. Be honest, man. You know what I'm saying? Be honest. Let your delivery be unique. Because the way I'm sitting there spitting all over my mic filter, that's the MM2K style. But whether I'm calm about it or whether I'm yelling at the top of my lungs, I still stay consistent and true to what I believe. And yeah, I may not shoot to 60,000 as fast as those people, but I sure, my 60,000 know what I'm about, and they're not going to drop me at the drop of a hat because they came and followed me for the wrong reasons. If you're following me, you understand where my positions are and why and what type of gamer I am. So you know what to expect from me, whether you agree with me or not. I think that's very important. When you're trying to feed information to the other, to the masses, to the others. The hell's wrong with me? But with that said, nobody else want to call in? All right, let me go to the chat. Victor Alliston says YouTube is all about money. For some people it is. I will say this, Victor, I don't make any money doing this. I don't make any money doing this. I'm not partnered with YouTube. I don't get any money from them. I do this because I love the interaction. I squeeze a lot of this time in between the day-to-day work that I'm supposed to be doing from home. And I do this because I love the interaction. It's fun for me. And it's fun, and I love the delegation of information. I love spreading information. I love receiving information. And what this does for me is it keeps me in that realm, and I love gaming. I've been embedded within the culture again for 3+ decades. I love it. So this is why I'm doing it. I don't get paid. I don't get YouTube. I don't get a red penny from YouTube. Not at all. 706 Gamer said, what an amazing day. Wilson Jesus says, are all Microsoft games multiplat? To some, I would say, yeah, it is. But it's no longer, I think the question no longer is, can you play a game on multiple platforms or multiple pieces of hardware? I think the new thing is going to be, and Sony just helps, solidify that with their most recent actions, is that you're going to be looking at ecosystems opposed to platforms with devices you can play on. Because gaming is, in the next several years, going to be platform or hardware agnostic. It is. It's going to be about what content provider are you going to sign up for? Are you going to sign up for Microsoft's ecosystem of content, Sony's ecosystem of content, or Nintendo's ecosystem of content? Or if you gain, or no, it's not even, or any of the other developers that might have streaming services. That's what it's going to boil down to. So yeah, pretty soon every ecosystem is going to be available on multi-platforms, and the term multi-platform is going to be obsolete. But that's the point of all this. It's not that Death Stranding is a big deal and therefore should diminish the fact that, at least for now, until summer 2020, you can't play Death Stranding nowhere else but PlayStation 4. That's something for you guys to be like, yeah, that adds value to the system. But you guys have dug yourself so much in a hole, as my homie Dirk Griggity alluded to. You dug yourself so much in a hole with some of your bullshit arguments that now you've diminished any game that's a multiplat. Or that's even a timed exclusive. And that's not the way to go. That's not looking down the road. That's just looking at now. When you look at down the road, it's going to go beyond whatever platform something is on exclusive to, and it's going to be what ecosystem is something exclusive to. That's what's really going to matter. That's what's going to butter the bread for these companies. Who cares that it's on PC too? It's still exclusive to PlayStation 4 for several months. And if you want to play it, once it's available, you got to have a PlayStation 4. So before y'all go out here on these rabbit campaigns and make these stupid arguments, man, check yourselves, man. Check yourselves. Did someone just try to call me? Hold on. Okay, now that's an old phone call. Okay. Let me go out here to leave some more to chat. Victor Allison said the narrative going to have to change now. I have a feeling if Sean was still there, he would have had Kojima announced next year. Absolutely, I believe that too. Victor Allison. I believe that too. I know me and you don't agree on a lot of stuff, but again, I appreciate you for your diverse thought. It helps keep the discussion flourish, man. You know, and when we do agree, if we can agree on something, that makes us agreeing even more paramount. I agree with that wholeheartedly, bro. If Sean was there, he would have fought this narrative. See, what Sean Layton did is, a lot of the reasons why 2019 is so controversial in the PlayStation space is because of the stuff Sean Layton did. I was trying to allude to this in the previous video, but my crazy family made me have to hop off real quick. So let me say this. And when Sean Layton came abroad, he focused on indies. He still, when the Japanese developers thought that maybe it was their time to shine again with the advent of the PlayStation 4 and how successful it was, he still wasn't focused on them. He was focused on the indies. Then he waited a few years later after they ran the indies dry, and then he went back to the Japanese developers and said, okay, now y'all come, okay? And they stopped making their mobile games, they start making their console games again, right? And then what he did in advent of the Xbox One X coming out, and his fear of the Xbox One X capturing mindshare again, with it being the most powerful console, because off the previous years they were running off of power. They didn't have the games. 1080p 60 makes you a better gamer, notably of Kojima, right? Because of all that, Sean Layton said, okay, now it's time for us to go heavy-handed with all of our games. And what he didn't do is he didn't ration the food. It's like this is a marathon, not a sprint. And they just started hammering things, initiative after initiative, to kill the hopes and dreams of the Xbox system. But he did that unnecessarily. Because even though for the little bit of more mindshare that they got, little did he realize that Phil was never trying to fight them. And as a high-level exec, he should have understood that and realized that. They weren't trying to compete with PlayStation. They were trying to make PlayStation a client. Under Satya Nadella, he wanted them to be a client. He has the Silicon Valley state of mind. And with the Silicon Valley state of mind, we don't do all this fighting on TV and commercial. We don't do that shit. We just fight behind the scenes for patents. And Sony looking at everything that they invested throwing the kitchen sink in 2018 and how now they're falling flat in 2019 in a lot of ways, they said, hold on, you didn't ration the food. This ain't a good look for Sony. And as Jack Tritton told you once he left, he told Hip Hop Gamer to his dismay, Sony's all about Sony. They don't care about individual contributions. They're past 2018. Now they're looking at 2019 and they're saying what you did in 2018 before is making 2019 bad. We're in 2019 now. We don't like it. Get out. Get out. Get out. And I can't be mad at them. They couldn't afford to go to no game shows. They didn't go to E3. They've canceled all the shit that Sony has been doing for 24 plus years under Sean Layton. Even though they're breaking records in the stuff that they've sold. They got so much overhead with all the kitchen sink initiatives, dropping the PlayStation price longer than anticipated, doing all this shit just to win NPD and mindshare against a company that really wasn't trying to fight you. It's all coming to fruition in 2019, and Sony said, toodaloo, and I can't blame them. So, under Jim Ryan, who he's more conservative in some ways, but more hardcore in other ways, they don't give a fuck that Death Stranding is coming to PC. They don't give a fuck about the whole Jim Ryan is not that multiplat champion. He ain't the multiplat warrior. He don't care. Hence why they're gonna do. They're testing the waters with with PlayStation Now, and why Kojima all of a sudden out of nowhere is announcing that it's coming to PC. If Sean was there, I would bet my right leg this announcement wouldn't have come until right before release. Just like how it happened with Detroit Become Human when Sean Layton was there. We already have evidence of this happening. Excellent point, Victor Allison. We got a chat from the graphic guard again. He says, do you think even though Sony took that hard stance to keep this traditional win the battle, they will eventually lose the war? I don't know. Good point, graphic guard, but PlayStation is a fan favorite service across the globe. One thing I will tell you is that if Microsoft becomes less kumbaya, focuses more on the technology, and they do what they do best, which is produce software and produce technology and do software, and they can increase their outreach without people having to buy their unit, and it becomes successful where they let other devices shine and you just get access to our software through our ecosystem, then they can change that culture, but it's going to take some time. So will they ultimately lose the war? I don't think you would. If Sony ends up losing and Microsoft becomes the predominant gaming force, you wouldn't see that happening, I think, for at least 10 years. Just for the makeup of gaming right now. You know, Microsoft has to fully flip. Number one, Microsoft has to take a big look in the mirror and say, do we have all the right people in all the right places to make things happen the way that we need them to? And then after they take that cold hard look in the mirror, then they need to fully go forth, adequately implement things like xCloud, make sure it works. They have to make sure these things work. They can't mention things in flight while it's still in development. They got to mention things when it's when it's in a rollout phase, and it has to work. If they can do that, if they can look like a serious Microsoft branch instead of this indie style studio with the tight limbo shirts working for a Fortune 500 company, if they can change that perception to the former, then yeah, I think within 7 to 10 years, it's possible for that to happen. But those things have to happen in that specific order. Graphic God said, nah, Crap and Mooch didn't want to pay for quality. That's what killed their platforms. And I wanted, and to that, you know, I'll say this. I don't want to get too messy. I'm a loyal guy. Ain't nothing against anybody else. I'm a loyal guy. I don't bring a lot with me, you know, to the front lines, but my loyalty, right? I fucks with Graphic God. That's my homie. Good friend. I fucks with Z. Y'all wouldn't even know who I am if it wasn't for Z. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with Griggity in a time where Scrampunks almost got canceled. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Scrampunks was almost never no more. Griggity helped save Griggity single-handedly, along with Neethles, saved Scrampunks. I fucks with Griggity. You know, I fucks with my Triple B brethren. I fucks with Neethles, Bolster, Maslin, Kingsblood. I'm a loyal guy. That doesn't mean that I'm gotta be, if I'm not friends with all of their friends, I got a problem, or, you know what I'm saying? That's not it. But I feel some type of way when the people that I fuck with, when you've done them very, very bad. It's a difference when y'all have y'all squabbles. I don't get into everybody's squabbles. But when you've done somebody that I fuck with very, very, very bad, then that affects my decision making going forward about things. I'll just leave it at that. So I'll just add that to it. Victor also says Sean was wild. The fanboys love PlayStation, but now you got a Nadia like CEO and a Dawn Matrick like guy Jim Ryan. There's going to be a meltdown for a lot. Again, you're hitting it right on the nail, Victor. When we agree, the stars align and the planets, the planets shift. Bossy One, them clowns are clickbait masters. Cyrus Burke, hey, MM2K, you mind starting over? Just got here. All right. No phone calls? Walter, what I miss? What he do to J-Dub? So with that said, man, y'all gotta examine yourselves, look at yourselves in the mirror, and then ask yourselves, what am I here for? Why am I here? Am I here to just solely talk shit and not find facts? Then make that known. Or am I here to regurgitate facts and to learn facts? If you're here to regurgitate facts and learn facts, then you got to be honest with yourself. Let me show y'all something. I don't want y'all to think I'm trying to be suspect or anything, but you see this man right here? This man, Porter Rock. And I'm talking about friends, right? Right. I have some of the most unlikely alliances here because I don't take this stuff personally. We may go back and forth and yell, and I might go into my spiel. But again, at the end of the day, I love gamers. I love gaming. Me and this man right here, we made a pair of ferocious videos against each other before we really knew each other, right? And now, in this community, this is one of my best friends, Porter Rock. And Porter Rock told me, yo, MM2K, you sound dumb as hell talking about Xbox One X is going to fly off into the nether regions come tax time. Because at my point of entry into this, I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't really know who Phil was as a person. I didn't know the new dynamic of these new executives post the Donnie Matrick phase. I didn't know it. I saw what Phil looked like. I said, it's cool. We got a bunch of gamers in this thing now. This is going to fly off. And gamers inherently are competitive. I never imagined this whole kumbaya thing, right? And Porter Rock in his debate style and studying the math to fight against Xbox and my Xbox brethren in debating, he understood all that better than I have. And he said, you're making yourself look like a fool. He said, not only are they gonna do shit in tax season, but 2018 inherently is just gonna be horrible for Xbox. And he was right. So I didn't know a lot of this information. But again, even somebody whose gaming choices I staunchly disagree with, I learned from him. And that's the same type of thing I want to provide for people that may staunchly disagree with me. So it's okay. Me and Porter Rock made videos insulting each other's intelligence and all types of shit. And I can still learn from him, and you guys can still learn from information that I get. It ain't gotta be where it gets to the point to where you caveat information to fit a narrative instead of just using the facts to hold up your conclusions. But when those things finally come to fruition, you just got to accept them as they are. I had to accept it as it was. That Xbox was no longer trying to compete. Therefore, they were not going to be able to compete with PlayStation even in North America. I had to come to that, even though I was speaking to the contrary beforehand. Once the facts hit, once, like I used in my earlier example, once Dr. Manhattan, Superman finally battled out, if Dr. Manhattan wipes that floor with that ass paws, then I got to accept it. It is what it is. And move on to the next one. That's what y'all got to learn how to do. Once the facts are released, just accept it. It is what it is. Because all y'all become is an echo chamber of misinformation, and you're fucking up what? This nerd culture. And that's a no-no to me. So understand what's behind my tweets when I fight for games that y'all don't like, and y'all just like, hold on, but public perception says that we're supposed to hate these games. What are you doing, MM2K? I don't care about public perception. I'm not trying to convince you, but facts have to be paramount in this community. They have to be. Now, everybody's not going to know everything instantaneously, but if you're a YouTuber, or you provide content, or you're providing tweets every 5 seconds, and you're spreading lies for the sake of a console maker that don't know who the fuck you are, and they're not sending you a red penny against the culture, when you're fucking up the culture for it, I got no respect for you. You come listen to my shit, but I'm gonna let you know I ain't got no respect for you. Period. That's it from your boy. I want to thank everybody for coming out here for the not so quick dose once again. Thank you for Dirk Griggity for the call. I want to thank everybody that was in the chat. Victor Allison, Joanzo Villegas, Graphic God, Devin got the box, No Russian, Seth, who else? Bossy One, Heath Stevens, Chris Righteous, The Almighty Spartan God, 706 Gamers says, what an amazing day. Victor Allison, Walter, what's up? What else we got in here? I think that's it. Y'all were busy and popping today, man. And I appreciate the 26 that are watching now. I hope I didn't miss anybody. FC Violet. Talus. Multiplat is in all consoles. Assure Multiplat with PC. And that's it. I want to thank everybody for coming through. Thank you for enjoying this Quick Dose Live. I hope you guys maybe were at least entertained, but got some food for thought out of this. You can catch me on PNTS Network at pntsnetwork.com. Just look for Mighty Most 2000. You can catch my live streams at HNDC.Live. Right? Or you can go to twitch.tv/Mighty Most 2000. All right. I'm about to do this Call of Duty. So at 1 p.m. I'm gonna stream some Call of Duty on PC. I'll do some Outer Worlds later on today. I'm supposed to come up with a schedule. So you know what? Maybe not so much at 1 p.m. exactly. But with that being said, I want to thank everybody for coming through. Appreciate all of y'all. As always. Y'all have, and big ups to Graphic God. Thank you for sending 2 comments through the free messaging app. It does help the content, even when YouTube don't give me 1 red penny. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, you all have a wonderful gaming day. Thank you, Bossy One. I appreciate that. Thank you. Peace.